The first question I asked Sarah, well, first, if you just want to give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself, where you're from, and what you're doing at CPOD.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Tonto, and my country is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I am a first-year student here at CPOD, studying economic and political development, and also studying management at the same time.
And then the second thing Sarah is working on is she's also a country representative for Hope International, as well as the founder of her own organization called Little Things. So I was wondering if you could just give us a quick update on what you do for Hope, and as well as what Little Things is all about and how it started and where you are today.
Yeah, I was actually working for Hope. Right now I work as a consultant. So for 2 or 3 years I was working as a full-time staff for Hope International. For those of you that don't know, it's a Canadian international development agency. And basically it's an organization that has a lot of resources, and they fund projects to funds all around the world. And the Congo happens to be one of them. Actually, the organization is present in 26 countries worldwide. So I was working as country representative in the Congo, and I was responsible to oversee and to monitor all the funded projects within the country and the region. The project was different. Sometimes it was agriculture, education, capacity building with local partners, and also to establish linkages between the partners on the ground and the donors in Canada. That was my responsibility in the Congo. At the same time, also because Hope was involved in various countries in Africa and also in Asia, I was responsible to travel and to do the monitoring and reporting on the projects that were taking place in Ethiopia, South Africa, Swaziland, Burundi, Kenya, and so forth. So most of the times I was in the Congo and also traveling abroad and doing that kind of work, and also sometimes in India as well. Hope is a really good organization. I really enjoyed working with them because even though they have a lot of resources, they have the mentality behind the way they work is that we need to channel all those resources to the people that need it the most. So they really don't spend a lot of funding on bureaucracy and staff and things like that. So they make the staff very small, and all the resources are channeled down to those countries and to empower the partners on the ground. So that was my experience with Hope. Little Things is an organization that I founded when I was actually a junior in college. Sorry? Oh, okay. So when I was a junior in college, I went for my undergrad here in the States in Chicago. And I lived in Chicago for 4 years. And when I was a junior in college, coming from the Congo, I think that the United Nations and the International Human Rights Watch has sort of like targeted Congo and called it one of the worst places on earth to be a woman or to be a girl. And I think that my experience growing up in the Congo sort of emphasized that too, with the things that I saw and faced when I was growing up there. And basically when I was a junior in college, I wanted to respond right away, but I knew also that I didn't have like millions of dollars in my bank accounts to be able to do something about it. And at the same time also I was very impatient. Sometimes in order to do something, you want to wait until you have all the degree, you have all the resources, but at the same time, I really wanted to do something. So I started an organization with my friends and volunteers, my own money really, with the goal of trying to empower young women in places where I grew up, because I knew that there were a lot of young girls who were intelligent and smart and bright, but they could not have access to having a better life because they didn't have a lot of people or anyone to support them. So because of that, I started this organization, and for the first year when I was in college, I started supporting maybe 4 or 5 young women in my city and also in my town, my hometown. And because you start one initiative and then it leads you to the next one, this organization has grown to include about 30 young women who actually go to school full time. Some of them have gone to colleges and going to universities. It's an after-school program where you really do comprehensive development, so it's not only handouts and scholarships, but also we have people on the ground, we have a full-time staff that work with them, kind of like empower them and are invested in the day-to-day activities of trying to help them manage the success through education. At the same time, also there is another group of adult women who are in the community but very impoverished, and but they are capable of wanting to work and to better their own lives. So with them, I engage them with different various activities, and for example, in handicraft, they make bags, they make earrings, they make anything that they can utilize their skills, their hand skills, and I connect them with different stores here in the United States. So it's sort of like a business partnerships, and we have stores in Chicago and Minneapolis that carry their products, and they actually receive 90% of all the resources that come from those interactions. So that's with the adult women, and I have about 20 women in that small group. And also there is an empowerment circle where we actually provide microfinance to different women to carry on business activities in the community so that they will be able to support their families, etc. It's moving into a new direction right now because we want to open a big center where we will engage not only women but also some men in the community in order to, we believe that development, men and women should work together. So in the next 2 or 3 years, we want to open a big community center that will engage men and women in this business of trying to better their lives.
Thank you, Sarah. Questions?
I have a question. Sarah, you might have already mentioned this. I was wondering, where did you get funding to start off initially your organization, and are the funding channels different now that you're?
No, I did not get funding from any source. Actually, it's very interesting because when I wanted to start that, I did not have funding and I was not a millionaire. So I started, I've never been crafting my life before. I just went to a store and then, so beads. So I had an idea that maybe I can start making necklaces or earrings and things like that and start to fundraise through that. And that's actually how the organization was funded. Through that, we were able to start to file and to gain legal nonprofit status here in the States and in the Congo, and to start supporting those young women in our activities. So far, it has been 100% self-sustainable just with our own activities, with the earrings and the sell and so forth. I think that we are on our way to maybe acquiring our very first monumental grant, but I cannot say that because it still is in the process. But yeah, it wasn't one of those situations where you wait for funding. I think it also was appealing to people because it was a very self-started initiative, and we were already on the ground doing something.
And you were the only one making the jewelry at the beginning?
No.
Or?
Well, at the beginning it was me, and then I invited a few friends from college, and then and it became a network with volunteers. So there are volunteers in Chicago and everywhere who actually carry on this activities. But it was me and then a lot of more people added. Any questions?
Yes. How do you still manage it now? You're almost busy here. How do you know the people around? If you have people around you trust and you can manage it, how much influence you still have to manage it?
Working for Hope International was a blessing for me at the same time because I was able, Congo just happened to be one of the countries where they were present, and I was sent there because I was fluent in all the languages and so forth. So when I went there and I was working, I had a full-time job for Hope, but also it was my hometown, it was my town. So I was able in the evening or in the afternoon to invest in my own hobby. And my own hobby was my second job, which was directing this organization. So for more than 2 years, I was able to establish that foundation, leaving Chicago, because I think before I was managing from Chicago, basically. But when I moved back to the Congo, it was possible for me to establish all those foundations and to hire staff. We have 5 members, 5 people who work for us on the ground on a full-time basis. And kind of train them, so that's when, and I was traveling a lot. Sometimes I would train them and then travel abroad and come back and see, sort of manage that. And right now they're able to do it even when I'm not there. But I maintain a weekly contact over talking with them, managing that.
And so you're paying them still?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
I just want to commend you on the great job you're doing. And just a quick question, very important to the success of a not-for-profit is the makeup of your board and your board of advisors. Do you currently have a board that's assisting you? And if not, is there something that you're looking at, in the long term to assist you and continue to do
Would
the
you
work?
like to be member?
I think voting should be on that.
Exactly. Yeah. When we in order to file for a 501c3 legal status for nonprofits here in the States, you need to have a board and all of that. So when we started, actually we had a board, and it was a very junior board to help us kind of like get off the ground and start working. And right now we're in the process. It's very an interesting question because next week I'm meeting with someone, and we are evaluating how to revamp the board and bring in new members and sort of to take us to carry the whole project to the next level.
And how you guys are 501c3 in New York City?
In Chicago, in the United States.
Okay.
But I filed in Chicago, United.
Well, the good thing is New York is a good hub as well for 501c3 and private equity type firms that invest into great projects like this. So they're just looking for individuals who have the capabilities to execute in this level. So once you can, I'm sure you definitely already demonstrated you can execute on the project level. So just communicating, what you do effectively to them and how their money will be used. So I think it will continue to help you out. So. But good job. Good job.
Yeah, talk to me.
You need to be on the board.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. All right, so we have a few more minutes. We're just going to take you to give you just a few quick little span updates, and then we will jump into our discussion. So first off on our list, we wanted to give you a few updates about internships. So Melanie, can you give us a quick download on what's going on? Someone? Yeah. Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Melanie. I'm the SPAN internship chair. I just want to let you know about a new exciting opportunity we have to intern with the Liberian mission to the UN. And it's starting, we don't have a starting date, but if you're interested,
As soon as possible.
as soon as possible, right? You would be working with the ambassador, you'd be attending UN meetings with UNDP and other UN agencies. And it's like Monday through Friday, 1 to 3, wait, no, 11 to 1. I don't know. Well, we have it listed, yeah, I was like, we have the hours listed. But, so resumes and cover letters due in 2 weeks, so March 5th, and
Yeah.
If you're interested, please
if
let
you're
me know.
interested, please contact Melanie. And it's also, we sent a link to it on the SPAN update, so you can find out more information there.
And if you're not on our listserv, please let us know, and we will put you on our listserv. We're really excited internship opportunities that seem to be coming up a lot. So
Where's Sarah
we want to
and
get on that
OSAS?
list.
So either talk to Sarah or OSAS, either one of them will get you on the listserv. Okay, great, thank you. Next, Nana, we're going to give us a quick update on African Economic Forum.
Yes. Hi everyone, I'm Nana, I'm SPAN's Vice President. I just wanted to give you guys a very brief update on our African Economic Forum. If you do not know, SEPA through SPAN, the law school,